Hello and welcome back to another episode of Ruining Your Childhood.
Welcome back to another episode of Ruining Your Childhood, one sculpt at a time. Today, once again, we're going to be visiting the terrifying world of Courage the Cowardly Dog. And we're going to be sculpting one of the most horrifying, cursed, and possibly one of the most dehydrated villains of all time. I'm talking about the guy that just shows up at your front door and starts screaming out, "Return the slab!" Oh my gosh, I think I just broke my throat. Anyway, you know who we're talking about. We're talking about the guy that ruined childhoods here. And of course, that's King Ramses. Now I feel like a lot of us could agree that King Ramses was one of those characters that somehow just burned itself deep into our childhood subconscious. I can still remember the first time I actually saw this episode. I got up and walked to the door and just watched it from the door just in case I needed a run or something. I don't know exactly I don't know what my thought process was, but I stood by the door. Anyway, now that we got his head shape complete, we could actually start working on the facial features, starting with those deep eye sockets. I just took a ball stylus, rubbing that back and forth till we got those shapes looking right. Took a couple of pre-baked eyeballs, pressing those into those eye sockets, and then we could go ahead and add his lower eye bags. For this, I just used a rolled out piece of clay, laying that over top of the eye, then using a wedge-shaped sculpting tool, I just tucked that underneath the eyeball, then using a round-shaped sculpting tool, we go ahead and blend it all in. As for the upper eyelids, we're going to be pretty much doing the exact same thing, laying a flattened out piece of clay over top. I use a silicone sculpting tool to kind of highlight the shape of the eye, then using my X-Acto knife, I go around the shape of his eye socket, slicing out that half U shape, and then using another silicone sculpting tool to blend it in. Using the exact same process I did the other eye off camera, but now we could start bulking up his eyebrows. We're trying to go for that I haven't had water since 4000 BC look, so we're really going to be making his eyes sunken in. So after taking that T-shaped bit of clay and applying it over top of the eyes, I'm just going to be using my fingers and a ball stylus to blend it in and also just give the eye sockets a little bit more shape. I then followed up with a silicone sculpting tool to give the upper eyelids a little bit more detail before adding on his nose. King Ramses obviously had a couple of nose jobs because this thing is tiny, thin, very slender. Okay, so after applying this little worm of clay to the center of his face, we are going to be using a ball stylus and some different sculpting tools to kind of give the nose a little bit more shape and to make his nose look a little bit more mummified. I am going to be adding that upper bone, I forget what that's called, but the little bone in the upper part of the nose and then having the lower section of the nose a little bit more sunken down. He's looking a little bit too much like an alien right now, so we need to bump up those cheekbones. They're using a couple snakes of clay. We're going to lay that over top of his cheeks, blending those in, and then I go in and just adding some various details around his eyes. I was pretty happy with how the upper section of his face was looking, so now we can move down and start working on his teeth. Using a very small ball stylus, I went ahead and kind of just penciled in how I wanted the teeth to look. Then I went in with a variety of different sculpting tools to kind of wedge out the teeth, refining the shape a little bit more before cutting out the inside of the mouth. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I wasn't entirely sure how I wanted his mouth to look at the start of this. I've seen a few different references, one having huge lips and the other having teeth, and so just for the sake of making him look quote-unquote more realistic, I opted out for the teeth. I thought it just kind of matched the spookiness of the character a little more. But now that we have his teeth in place, we could go ahead and start adding his lip by taking a wedge-shaped sculpting tool and pushing the clay underneath. And with all of his main facial features in place, I could go ahead and start adding in some texture. Start things off by taking a small ball stylus, sliding it gently across the surface. Kind of gives it a little bit more of a leathery look. I then take a natural sponge, gently dabbing it along the surface of the face. This just helps the skin look like it has pores. And now that his face is all texturized, we could go ahead and start adding his ears. Pinched off a little dank nugget clay, then rolled it into a small ball. Went ahead and smashed that flat, then taking my X-Acto knife, I sliced it in half. I then take those little half circles and apply those to the side of the face. Then using a very small ball stylus, I'm going to go ahead and draw some inner ear detail. And with that, his head is complete and we could go ahead and pop it in the oven. And with Ramses' head back from the oven and completely cooled down, I went ahead and drilled this little hole into the back of his head, inserting this long piece of armature wire. Now that we got his long spinal cord connected to his head, we could go ahead and start working on his neck. I start off by adding a copious amount of bacon bond to the base of his head before taking a piece of clay, sliding it up the armature wire, connecting it to the bottom of the head. After blending it into the head, I do a little bit of shaping to taper it down to a thinner neck. I can then go down and start bending the armature wire into its final pose. I was pretty happy with how this was looking so far, so now we can go ahead and start building up that body. Taking a decent sized chunk of Super Sculpey Ultralight, I'm going to slide that up the armature wire, kind of give it a little bit more shape toward the bottom, refining the shoulders a little bit more, then adding another section to the bottom to make the lower section of his cloak. Once I was happy with the basic shape of his body, I could then go in with the back end of my paintbrush, rolling it over top of the surface to give it some wrinkles and kind of refine his rib cage a little bit more. I'm not really trying to be super detailed with this, I'm mostly just trying to block in the rough shapes. Pretty happy with the shape of the body so far, so now we could go ahead and add his arms. Stuck these little pieces of armature wire into his shoulder bits, pulling the clay over top to make them stick. Then after a little bit of refinement, we could go ahead and pop it in the oven. Now I ended up kind of changing his pose a little bit right before I stuck it in the oven. I wanted him to look like he was reaching out, trying to grab that slab. But now that we have him back and baked, we can start making his clothes look a little bit more real. I want the lower section of his cloak to look a little bit more flowy, so I'm taking some large snakes of clay, laying those across the front, then using a variety of different sculpting tools and some isopropyl alcohol, and go ahead and blend those in. After that, I took a flattened out sheet of clay, laying that over top of his chest, and then take my X-Acto knife, cutting out a little half U shape. And after tearing off all that excess bit of clay, I could then go around with my fingers just to smooth out the edges. I was pretty happy with how that was looking, so now I could take the back end of my X-Acto knife and a silicone sculpting tool to go over top of this section to add some wrinkles. As for those little spiky bits that go on the bottom of his cloak, I went ahead and just pinched off these little bits of clay, then after forming them into little cone shapes, I just go ahead and apply those all across the bottom. Now his cloak is starting to move in the right direction, but before sticking in the oven, I am going to be adding some texture to the clothing. Using some actual cloth, I just rub that over top of the surface. This leaves these little bumps and ridges behind, making it a little bit more realistic. And with that, this cloak is looking nice and textured, so we could go ahead and pop it in the oven. With him back and his details locked into place, it's time to start sleeving up his arms. Start things off as always by adding a copious amount of bacon bond before adding a flattened out piece of clay, wrapping it around and pinching it off. Now typically I would slice off all the excess bits of clay, but since he has these like kind of loose hanging flaps at the end, we're just gonna be really just focusing on trimming up the upper section. Now I forgot to hit record when I added that first little bell-bottom sleeve, so just think of it as a preview, but we're going to be building up this other one. Went ahead and cut out this little triangle shape. Once I had the front and back lined up, I could go ahead and pinch off that bottom seam, and we got ourselves a nice little sleeve. These sleeves are looking a little too pristine, so we need to weather them up a bit. Start off by taking my X-Acto knife, adding these little slices, and then I start to pinch and pull them to make these little points. I ended up switching out my X-Acto knife for these pointy tweezers. I noticed they gave me a much easier time of making the sleeves look weathered. And to help with the weathering, I also took a natural sponge, just kind of pressing those on the ends, made it look like they're a little more torn. Now to prevent me from accidentally crushing these or snapping them off, I did go ahead and put it in the oven really quick, and now we could start on his hands. Like always, I start off with a ball of clay that I smash flat, give it a little bit more shape before taking my X-Acto knife, slicing one end off. We're going to save that little bit because we're going to be using it for the thumb later. After a little bit more forming, we could go in with my X-Acto knives, making little strategic slices, and then we got ourselves 4 little fingers that we're going to go ahead and shape into fingers. Once we're happy with the shape and length of those fingers, we could reattach the thumb before starting to add some detailing. While I'm adding thus details, I want to just say thank you guys so much for checking out the video so far. Hope y'all are enjoying it. Definitely leave a comment down below of who you guys would like me to sculpt next. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? And just like that, we got the detailing in the hand complete. I went ahead and made the other hand off camera, and now we could go ahead and start attaching it to the arms. I went ahead and put some bacon bond on that little piece of wire sticking out, then we could reattach the hand. I then take a wedge-shaped silicone sculpting tool to help push the clay in, and then we can move on to the flappy sections of his cloak. For this, I started off with a flattened out piece of clay that I lay over across his chest just to make sure I have the length right. I can then go in with my X-Acto knife, cutting out these little wavy bits, trying to make them as accurate to the cartoon as possible. I then gently peel that little flap of clay up, laying it over top of the chest. I could then start to give it some folds and wrinkles, and try to make this thing look like it's actually flapping in the wind. Now in the cartoon, it's kind of just free hanging off his body, but I don't want these things to snap off, so my kind of workaround is I have to have as many connection points as possible. But once I was happy with the layout of those flaps, I could go in with a variety of different sculpting tools to start to add some wrinkles. I also went in with those little tweezers and did little pinches and pulls and pokes just to make those flaps look a little more weathered. And with that pretty much completes the sculpting process, so we can pop it in the oven. And with King Ramses back and baked from the oven and looking quite nice, we could go ahead and start the painting process. Now I always like to start things off by giving the entire sculpture a base coat of its initial base coat colors, and it was at this point that I realized that the past 3 sculptures that I've made of courage characters all are wearing green, and they're all kind of villains of courage, so it made me wonder, why are they all wearing green? So I did a little bit of research, and I found nothing. So we're just going to be making some skeptical observations here and just assuming that it's because green kind of complements purple, but I don't know. But now that we blasted through that green paint job, we could go ahead and start painting his flesh. Now I am going to be going for a more pale version of what he is in the cartoon. In the cartoon, he's got a pretty sick orange tan going on, so we're not going to be doing that. We're just going to be going for more of a pale version of him. More sickly, to say the least. I got the skin tone by using a color called dark flesh and a little bit of unbleached titanium. Now that we have his skin and clothes complete, all we have to do is paint the inside of his mouth, and I got that color by mixing black and red. And then as for his teeth and eyes, I'm going to be using an off-white color called parchment. Now that we got the base coats done and we have this nice McDonald's toy version, we could go ahead and start adding some washes to actually make this thing look a little bit more alive. For the clothes, I'm just going to be using a black wash that I really watered down, spreading it all over the clothing. I go ahead and let it pool up in all those cracks and recesses before taking a piece of cloth and dabbing it off. I was pretty happy with how it was looking so far, so I'm going to go ahead and let that fully dry. Once it does, I could go back over top of everything with a dry brushing of those initial colors just a little bit lighter. I'm also mostly going to be focusing just on that sash that goes across his chest, and also on the tops of his arms and shoulders just to bring out some highlights. And now that we're done dry brushing the devil out of it, we can start adding some life to the skin. I've said this in previous videos, but I feel like the best way to make skin look more realistic is just to build up layers of different washes. So I'm going to be starting off with the hands, going over the knuckles and the palms of his hand with a red wash before moving back up to the face. We're going to be focusing a lot around the eyes, nose, cheek, and mouth region. We're going to be going in with that same exact red. And after I get a decent base coat of that, I can then go back over top of the eyes with a purple wash. This is to help start to bring some of those cool tones into the face and also make it look a little bruised. And to finish off the colored washes, I'm going to be going in with a blue wash, just adding some veins around the face, and then I'm also just going to be adding it to some of the lower sunken sections of the face to add some depth. Once I was happy with how that was looking so far, I'm going to let it fully dry before going over top of everything with a cream wash. This is going to help just set everything back and blend it all together. And finally, last but not least, we got to add his hairs. I made these little pieces of hair by taking some cotton that I rolled out into these long cone shapes. After I was happy with the shapes, I went ahead and dipped them in this little soup that I made, mixing up Mod Podge, water, red paint, and black paint. And once they dried, they actually formed out these pretty nice looking hairs. And to get them to stick to the head, all I'm using is some fabric tack. And with that and a little bit of off-camera detailing, we're onto those JCPenney glamour shots. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and also leave a comment down below of who you would like to see me sculpt next. I'll see you next time.